Well, if you've watched my channel regularly, you know I love making jewellery. Well, I've had this weird idea running through my head for a while, and I want to see if it will work. And it's a weird ResinCrete trick that I want to make some, hopefully, really stunning jewellery with. And I'm going to be using these little plastic ice crystals, this beautifully faceted gem, this piece of a mould, and some stickers, and hopefully some of this napkin decoupage. Oh, and some bubble wrap, of course. But I want to see if this is going to give me the effect that I've had in my head for such a long time. Because what I want to do is try and elevate the look of some of my jewellery and make some unique pieces that other people aren't making. So I'm not going to need too much ResinCrete to start with, because I only want to fill this mould up halfway along with the ones that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to probably mix up 100 grams to start with. And I love ResinCrete above all the other eco resins that I've tried. It is certainly, in my opinion, it cures the hardest, and also it is the whitest because it's really pure product, and it's a great eco resin, and it takes colour really well if you've seen on my other videos, and you can do so much with it. Make money with it as well, which is really important. So I've got 100 grams there, or 99 grams, and now I'm going to add 30 grams of water. And now, as always, I'm going to mix this with a fork because it mixes the ResinCrete so much better. Never use anything else to mix it with other than a fork. It will be lump free, and also it gives a lovely smooth effect to it as well, and doesn't really create bubbles, although that's the great thing about ResinCrete. Because it's thinner than a lot of the other eco resins, you don't get a problem with bubbles, and also it gets into all the little nooks and crannies if you're using it in a mould. Oh no, I think I have mixed up about the right amount. I'm trying to pour this half depth for the ones that I'm using. I'm going to have to work fairly quickly with this because I want it to be just the right consistency before I do anything else to it. So what I want to do is try and leave impressions in this as it's curing. So firstly, I'm putting the bubble wrap in, pushing that slightly down and leaving that to do its thing. Okay, the next one I want to try is this decoupage paper to see if that will stick in there. It's a bit big at the moment. See how that'll do as a background. Lay that on there. And while I'm doing this, the other ones will be slightly thickening up, which is what I need. Oh, look, I'm making a right mess with that. I'm going to put a little bit in and have a border around it. I think that's the best way to do it. I should have prepped this first, shouldn't I? But that wouldn't be me, would it? Hey, there we go. So there's that one. Now the heart, I want an indent of a heart. So all I'm going to do is pop that in there like that and push it down a little bit. Now some of these are going to work out, some of them aren't. What I'm going to do is pop a couple of these gems in here to weight that down a little bit. There we go, that's that. There. So we'll leave that there now. I've got these stickers that are 3D stickers. I love them. I really like the look of them. And I'm going to use these in a couple of different ways. The first way I'm going to use them is I'm not going to take the sticker off its backing. All I'm going to do is cut that like that to see if that will work, and then trim that off nice and neatly, and then lay that on the top there like that and push that in slightly to see if we can get the indent of that. And then while these ones are a little bit thicker now because they've been sitting there a couple of minutes, what I'm going to do is take some of this cling film, push that on there and ripple that up like that and leave that to dry. This gem might be too heavy for this ResinCrete at this moment. Yeah, it is. So I need to let that cure up a little bit more before I put that in. And it will be the same for the other little plastic gem. So I'm going to let that cure up for about another 2 or 3 minutes, because if not, it's just going to sink down to the bottom, and I don't want it to sink down to the bottom. And we never know if experiments are going to work, but I have had this in my head for quite a while, and I really want to give it a go. This one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and sprinkle on some glitter so it sticks into the ResinCrete but doesn't sink all the way down. Now I've put quite a lot in there, so I'm going to have to try a way of tidying that up in a minute. What I'm going to do is just go along with these tweezers and push that onto it so that grips onto it, hopefully, when it cures. Don't know if this is going to work, but we will see. Oh, let's put the lid on that glitter before I go knocking it all over everywhere. Oh, look, I still managed to get some in this. Let's mix it around so it isn't fully seen. And that is starting to thicken up now. It's only been a few minutes. I've just poured the circle one as well. I had enough ResinCrete left because I just had another idea as well. So I'm going to be using that in a minute. So I've been monitoring this really closely. And as you can see, it is starting to thicken up quite a lot now. I'm going to give it about another minute and then check it again. I think if you're going to do this part of the technique and it works out, then you need to ensure that you are monitoring this really, really closely. Yeah, that is now ready and able to take these. It's thick enough. So what I'm going to do is just drop those in there like this, in the shapes that I want them, and then just push them down slightly. What we've got to do is hope that these will come out. I'm sure they will. So there's 4 on there. And now let's do this one. Yeah, that's sitting on there nicely. Hasn't sunk all the way through to the bottom. This one I'm going to put something on afterwards, and also this one. And I'll show you what I'm going to do once these have all cured up and they're ready for me to take these out. I'm going to leave them about 30 minutes and then we'll see. Ooh. Well, these have now been curing for about 30 minutes. So they're all nice and firm. They're not fully cured yet, so I'm going to leave them a little bit longer. But before I do anything else, I want to do what I'm going to do with this round one. So first of all, I'm going to put a little something in there that's quite circular. Well, it's slightly bigger than that, really. Yeah, so that's about right for me. And now what I'm going to do is just do a line around that using a pencil. Now, don't push too hard because it's still going to be quite fragile while you're doing this. And that should give me a circle. And there we go. I've drawn a little yin and yang inside. Now, I'm not sure how neat I'm going to be able to do this or what is the right tool for it. So I've got all my clay tools here. And now I'm going to see if I can cut out an indentation following that all the way around. Yeah, this tool seems to be working quite well for it. I'm going gently, because I don't want to crack this piece of ResinCrete yet, because it's still going to be quite moist on the inside. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but I can see a nice indent in there. So that's that bit done. And now I'm going to just do the yin and yang bit, and then I can show you how these are all going to come out. So now that's done, the first one I'm going to take out is this silicone mold one, because that should be the easiest one to do. Going to take those beads out first and then remove that. Yeah, and there we go. We've got a really nice finish to that. It's got slightly raised edge to it where the ResinCrete was tucking up against the silicone mold. All I'm going to do is flatten that off a little bit using this little scraper tool. These are just cheap tools that you get, and I'll link them in the description below if you want to get hold of some. So that's that one done. The next one I'm going to try is this here, the cling wrap. Oh, that has so far come out really well. That has really given us a lovely effect. Oh, I'm a bit nervous about the rest. This one obviously is going to stay there. So let's have a look and see if this will come up. What will happen? Yeah, that's come out really nicely. Like that. That's very pretty. Although it has got a bit of contamination from the glitter, but there's a surprise. Now, I'm not sure if I should have sprayed some mold release on this, but we will soon see. Oh no, that's come out all right. Look at that. But again, it has left a raised edge around it. I don't want that raised edge to look that sharp. So all I'm doing again is going around that and softening off it a little bit. Ooh, so far it's looked like it's working. Now these ones I think are maybe going to be more difficult. Oh no, they've come out really easily. Well, that one has. So there's that one and that one. And by making sure that we left it that little while longer to get thicker, they haven't gone all the way down to the bottom. And now the last one is going to be this. I'm not even sure if this is going to come out, but we will soon see. Oh, it has. Oh, look at that. It's left a perfect little impression of a bottle. I've got glitter everywhere now, so I'm going to have to try and clean that up somehow because it's all come off this. So let's see if it will come off. And that does seem to have stuck in there quite well. So this is a sticker. If I can get the backing off it. There we go. And it is very sticky. So what I want to do... Oh, it's a bit long. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll put it in at an angle like that. And then I'm going to stick that down onto that ResinCrete. And then we're ready to do the next stage. And that is well stuck in there. That is lovely. So now I've got to try and clean this glitter up. Maybe that glitter wasn't a good idea. So what I'm going to do with this is try and vacuum that glitter out of everywhere. I've got it on a low suck. And that glitter has really stuck to that lovely. And now what I'm going to do is add a charm to this from one of my many, many charms. And I know exactly which one I want to add, and it's that one. And all I'm going to do is pop that there like that. So now what I will do is leave these to cure up either overnight, or what I'll do is I will put them in my curing box and let them cure up for about an hour. Well, these have all been dried now. They have been in my curing box for about 2 hours. So I'm quite happy with the way that they are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some decoration in them. All I'm using here is an acrylic paint and going around the bits that I carved out. And it's fitting in there really nicely at the moment. Now you could put a sticker in there, cut one out on your Cricut or something if you don't want to do it like this. And you're like me, you haven't got a steady hand. Now, I haven't sealed any of these, and I wouldn't recommend you seal them for the next stage because you want what we're going to do next to really attach well to these cured ResinCrete pieces. So that's about as neat as I can do that. So this next one, which is the crinkly one that I had the cling wrap on, what I'm going to be doing is brushing on in different places some of this chameleon powder, and I'm going to use 2 different colours on this one. I'm using a red and a gold. And if you want a more solid colour with your chameleon powders or flakes or whatever it is that you're going to use, then you can use this gilding glue on top of the ResinCrete, and that will dry slightly sticky and allow you to get more flakes in or more powder on it. So that's what I'm using on this one, and the heart. I think I'll use it in here as well, but I'm not using it on the outside. So that's nice and dry now, and what I'm going to do is the first one I'm going to be using is this heart, and I'm putting in some chameleon flakes into this, which are the fuchsia ones. Now again, I will get these everywhere, so there's not much I can do about that. Oh, I really like that. I think that's come out very pretty. And then this one is dry as well, so I'm going to pop in some chameleon powder. And I've only done the inside of the bubble wrap bubbles here. Let's blend that through. There we are. Quite like the way that's looking as well. And this gem I've got to do in Galaxy. Oh, I love how that has come out. Look, so pretty. The only thing is I have missed a bit on the edges, so all I'm going to do is pop another little bit of glue there, like that, and then go on in Galaxy and tidy that up in a second once that's dry. And for these ones, I'm going to pop in some metallic powder. These metallic powders look so good. And I'm also going to put some metallic powder on the bottle as well. Well, these are all now ready for me to pour my resin on top. And as we know from the experiments I did, and if you want to see those experiments, then I'll link it at the end of this video. The only way to connect ResinCrete to resin is by pouring your resin on after your ResinCrete is cured. If you do it the other way, then it's not going to adhere to the actual ResinCrete itself. So if you pour your resin first and then try and do it, you're not going to get a good adhesion. It won't bond. And the video at the end explains it really, really well and goes through everything that you need to know. So I'm pouring this slowly into these because I want to ensure that I don't get any trap bubbles if I can help it. And like I said, this is the 4-hour demold resin. It is really, really good. It's a nice and thick resin, so you may need to degas it first. I've degassed mine, but it cures in 4 hours, and I need to get these finished so I can move on to another project that I've got coming up. And if you want to know what that project is, then make sure to hit the like and the subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Now I've taken the charms out of these ones to start with because I want to put them in and make sure that they don't move around. So now I can put them back in. So this one is going in here. And I decided I wanted to put a little unicorn into this one. And all you need to do is push them down, move them about a little bit, wiggle them a bit, and then any bubbles that may have got trapped in there will come out and float to the top. But the actual charms themselves will stay where you put them. And I don't know which ones of these I'm going to like or dislike once they've all come out. But I will show you them and I'm sure you will let me know in the comments which ones you like. Big thank you to all my members whose names are coming up now. I'm glad you've all enjoyed and found the how to sell your stuff at craft fairs members only video really, really useful. The feedback from that has been immense and a lot of people have tried it and had some very successful craft fairs as well. Simple techniques, but it really makes a difference. Now there's over 40 members only videos on the members only site, so check out some of the others if you haven't checked them out or you're new to membership. And I've got a new one coming out very soon as well, which will also help you with photographing and displaying as well. If you'd like to be a member, then the link for that is in the description below, or you can just hit the join button. I'm trying to slightly over pour these as well, so they've got a little bit of a dome on them once I'm finished with them. And that is the beauty of using the thicker 4-hour demold resin. You can do that. So there we go. We got a few bubbles that have come up here that got trapped. All I'm going to use is a long neck lighter to burn those off with. And now we can just leave that and let that cure up, and then I can show you what it all looks like. Well, these have all cured now, and I'm really pleased with the majority of them. Certainly before I demold them. I love the bottle. I love the way this one has come out. I really like that one, and that is a big surprise for me as well. And obviously, I like these ones. I like them all. But what happened was, one or two, I left them, had to go out, and one of two of them released some bubbles that were obviously trapped in the folds, and as a result we've got some little trapped bubble bits in the top. Now I'm going to quickly show you how you can get rid of those so you can't see them. That is without a doubt my favourite one. Look at that, how simple that is, but how beautiful it is. And that, I love these ones. And that one again, look how beautiful that is. And all that in there. Really, really pretty. And I quite like my little hand-painted yin and yang. I think that came out better than I expected. And there we go. You can see all the facets in that one as well. Now, what I am going to do is seal the ResinCrete. And I'm going to use the ResinCrete sealer for that. And the reason is, this is going to be worn next to the skin. And not that ResinCrete will irritate the skin. It shouldn't do that at all. But what may happen is the oils, the grease, the sweat from your skin will absorb into that ResinCrete because it is a porous material. If we seal it, then we don't have to worry about that. And it seals really easy. This stuff is waterproof as well. And if you do 2 coats of it, then you can get waterproof vases and all things like that. To get a really glossy finish on this, you do need to do 2 coats. Because the first coat absorbs straight into the actual ResinCrete itself. So pop another coat on after maybe 24 hours, or if you put it in your curing box, you can heat it up and it'll cure a lot quicker. But anyway, that's enough of me jib-jabbing on. So I'm going to zoom right into this. There we go. And we've got a bubble there. When you get a bubble, what you'll find is there is a little indent, but also there's a little lip going all the way around here. Now what you need to do is get rid of that lip completely, because that lip will capture and trap air underneath it. It will make it difficult to get a nice finish on that. I've got rid of that lip now, so it's more open. And I'm going to do the same on this. So look, there's a little bubble there. See if you can see the lip. Can you see the slight lip on it there? So I'm going to get rid of that and open that one up. All I use for this is a sharp knife. Make sure you get the little bit that you cut off out of it as well. Turn it round like I'm doing now with your knife on it. That cuts a really nice edge to it. And now what I want to get is a little micro brush like this, and I've taken the fluffy end off it. It's really important you take the fluffy end on it, and you'll need that in a second. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some low viscosity UV resin. And the first thing I'm going to do is fill the little hole, or put some over where the holes are that we've just dug out. And then using my little stick that I've got here, I'm going to make sure there's no air trapped underneath them or any bubbles trapped underneath them. Yep, I've got all the bubbles out now. And then all I need to do is go around this whole thing, putting a very fine coat on it. Now, if you want a dome on it, then you can use the thicker UV resin, the high viscosity, but I didn't really want to put too much of a dome on this, although a dome probably would look nice. Make sure you go right to the very edge, but don't put too much on, because if not, because you're using the thinner one, it's more likely to go over the edge. Now we'll quickly give that a blast of a flame. Let's check that we've not got any bubbles trapped in there that we don't need. Yep, there we go. And now let's cure that up. And I'll do exactly the same with the other one, and then I can show you what they look like finished. So let me show you those now. So that's the square one, and you now can't see where those bubbles were at all. It really does a brilliant job. It saves your resin piece. And there's that one, and again, you can just see slightly there, but that actually isn't a bubble. It is a piece of mica powder that has come up. And I hadn't realised there was one right in the middle of this, and I did that one as well. So these are them all finished. I absolutely love them. I forgot to put a chain on that one, but there you go. I really think they've come out so pretty. That technique worked brilliantly. And it's just good to have a change and have something that is unique and going to be looking unique on people. Be sure to check out the other videos that I've got on ResinCrete. There's a really good one coming up now on how to make very profitable items using ResinCrete. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.